I bet you clicked on this video thinking that I was going to talk about that amazing 1980s Arnold Schwarzenegger classic, Commando. You were so sweet and innocent then. It was so cute. And I'm so sorry. The Commando is brought to us by director Asif Akbar and stars Michael J. White, Mickey Rourke, and Jeff Fahey. A DEA agent with PTSD returns home after a botched mission and must now protect his family from a home invasion after a recently freed convict and his henchmen come after their stash of millions inside the agent's house. So I heard about this movie and it came from Saban Films, and Saban Films has been doing some pretty interesting stuff lately. For the past few years, they've been putting out some really cool movies. But this isn't one of them. Michael J. White, you deserve better. Or maybe it's Michael J. White, you can do better. I'm a fan of Michael J. White. He does some really great stuff, but he also, at times, does some not so great stuff. But he's not the only big name on display here. We've also got Mickey Rourke and Jeff Fahey. Now granted, Fahey has kind of fallen off the map into obscurity the past few years, but he does pop up every now and then in a neat little picture. Same could be said for Rourke, but typically when he shows up in something, it's at least entertaining. Now the basic premise of this movie isn't really that bad. We've got Michael J. White's DEA agent who accidentally shoots some people on a mission, and this causes him PTSD, so he's sent on leave and he keeps seeing things and he's afraid that he's going to be a danger to his family. We've also got Mickey Rourke's character who is in jail and he's about to get out, and apparently he went to jail for just all kinds of shit, but one of the things was robbing a bank. Now they never found the money. That's because he took the money and stored it in their old house. And wouldn't you know it, that Michael J. White's DEA agent now resides in Mickey Rourke's character's old house. So upon Rourke getting out, he and his crew want their stuff back. But there's the little problem of a DEA agent living in the house where their illegal money is stashed. So this setup isn't inherently bad. It's not like the most creative thing ever, but it could prove to be an entertaining flick. I like how White's character has PTSD because he accidentally shot someone. They don't have like some bullshit come up to where, oh no, it wasn't you. No, he did that shit. And even though it was an accident and his character wasn't doing anything wrong when it happened, he still does have to live with the fact that he killed these people that, as far as he knows, were innocent. And Mickey Rourke's character has some depth to him as well. He does want his stuff out of this house. Not just the money, but there's a ring with the money that is of particular value to him. And even though he does want this stuff, he's wanting to go the straight and narrow. He's not wanting to cause any trouble. He doesn't even go on the job. He sends his friends to do it and tells them, you know what, keep it quiet. Don't do anything crazy. Just go in there, get the stuff, and get out. Let's keep our noses clean. Let's keep it low-key. Let's all be cool. He wasn't just your traditional bad guy in prison who gets out and immediately goes and does bad things because he's just bad. I like these dynamics that they're giving these characters. I like the fact that they did try to flesh these characters out more and give them more than just good guy and bad guy. I like the idea of them having to figure out how to get into this house non-violently to get this money out. And I was even okay with the fact that eventually, of course, it all goes sideways and things get very violent. In fact, I was looking forward to it happening. The main problem with all of these things in this movie, though, is the execution, and it's pretty fucking bad. And the performances do not help this situation at all. I've seen Michael J. White do a really good job in films, but it really seems like he's struggling hard in this movie. I don't know if it was because of the abysmal script or just really bad directing, but the guy seems super amateur here. Now, I'm not gonna go out and say that I think Michael J. White is like one of the great thespians of our time or anything, but he has put on convincing, entertaining performances in the past. But man, here he's just really bad. Mickey Rourke, who is looking really bad nowadays, by the way, and at times in this movie, he looks like Val Kilmer for some reason. Not like the Val Kilmer that we all remember. I'm talking about like how Val Kilmer looks now, like from that movie Val. That's how Mickey Rourke looks now. But all looks aside, Mickey Rourke is more or less just playing Mickey Rourke here. I can't really say he's bad, but if you don't like Mickey Rourke playing Mickey Rourke, which is pretty much every role Mickey Rourke is in, then you're not gonna like his performance here either. I guess it kind of worked, but the abysmal dialogue and the fact that the story is just not structured very well didn't help. Jeff Fahey also shows up for a bit, and he's playing pretty much the same role he's been playing for about the past 15 to 20 years. He's a small town cop who's got some questionable morals. That's it. If you've seen any of the other movies he's been in the past decade, then you know what you're getting here. Everybody else ranges from okay to just really fucking bad. Most of the bad guys or the henchmen in the movie are so over the top and hammy, it's really hard to take any of it serious. Now the execution and performances here are pretty bad, but how about the action? Michael J. White is known for his martial arts action, so maybe we can at least get some exciting, well choreographed action here. And that's really sweet that you think that. I don't know about the other guys, but we know that White is an amazing fighter and we've seen him do some pretty cool stunts and fight choreography over the years. So knowing that, how do you take someone with that amount of talent, at least in the physical space, and make him look bad in that regard? If nothing else, this movie should have cool fight choreography, but it just doesn't. None of it is exciting. It's like all joy has been sucked totally out of this movie. I mean, damn it, man, if you're gonna deliver a shit movie narratively to me, you can at least deliver some kick-ass fight scenes, especially when you have people on hand that can perform kick-ass fight scenes. But no, somehow it's like you said, I fucked up everything else here. Let me see how I can fuck this up too. And however you did it, if that was your goal, you were successful. On top of that, the movie uses a copious amount of CGI gun muzzle flashes, blood spray, and just pretty much anything like that that can be done CGI, they do here, and they just really shouldn't. It doesn't look good, like at all. And when we've got a really dramatic scene that an important character is being stabbed to death, and as we see their face, CGI blood is shooting up on it, and it just looks like it was made in MS Paint, that's a problem. It kind of takes away from the moment. As far as I can tell, every single gunshot, wound, blood spray, everything here was done in CGI. There's no practical work whatsoever. And while I know, especially considering recent events in Hollywood and gunfire, some people are really big advocates of not using blanks and using CGI to compensate for that stuff, look at this movie, and this is why it is at least potentially a problem. If you can make it look good, I don't care. Go ahead. And I have seen it good in other movies, but in this movie, yeah, it's not good. Guys, the Commando was pretty much a big-ass waste of my time. There's not much, if anything, to recommend here. The movie's got really bad performances. The CGI is not very good. The basic story and setup is fine, and some of the things about it are actually kind of interesting, but the execution is so bad that it just ruins it all. And the biggest offense of all is the movie's just boring. And if it weren't for the boring part, this movie still wouldn't be great, but it would definitely get a higher rating than I'm giving it today. But as it stands, the Commando is 100% without a doubt a motherfucking dumpster fire. It really does pain my heart every time I have to give a movie that rating, because I don't like watching bad movies. And I know making a movie is not easy, and I assume that the people that go out and make these movies are trying. Damn it, man, here you really failed. So as far as this movie, I can't recommend anybody watch it. If you see this one on sale, just walk on by and keep going. So there it is, guys, my review of The Commando. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits that go along with that, like these guys, and possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg C and Dragon Khan. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Phoenix.
Put one hand on my daughters, and I will make sure you die.
You're just gonna have to kill me then, boy.
What are we gonna do?
Don't worry, I'm built for this.
Another part of this movie that was really odd that I didn't mention, and don't worry, this isn't a spoiler, as if anybody's really gonna watch this shit, was the very end of the movie. Not what happens in the end specifically, but the very end, the last shot of the movie. It's really fucking weird. Not to mention the really weird tone. You see, there's this big climactic scene that you're expecting to happen, and when it does happen, you expect at least a couple of minutes of some dialogue, you know, the family coming together, something like that. But no, this thing happens, and it's been this really intense situation, and then all of a sudden, a character looks over at the other one and kind of makes a funny little quip that just doesn't match the tone, and kind of like looks up, and you're almost expecting like a freeze frame, like in those old TV shows with some corny music to come over it, like... It's very sudden, and it's a really weird ending, but you know, compared to everything else in the movie, I guess that's probably the least of the bad things about this piece of shit. Michael J. White, you can do better. And where the fuck is my Black Dynamite 2, by the way?